Poirot and I sat facing the hearth, our legs stretched out to the cheerful blaze. Between us was a small table. On my side of it stood some carefully brewed hot toddy. On Poirot's was a cup of thick, rich chocolate, which I would not have drank for 100 pounds. Poirot sipped the thick brown mess in the pink china cup and sighed with contentment. Quelle belle vie, he murmured. Apparently, Poirot drinks every day a cup of hot chocolate, a very special hot chocolate. I love his routines. To have a hot chocolate in the morning sounds very cozy. The Nemean lion starts like this. Anything of interest this morning, Miss Lemon? He trusted Miss Lemon. She was a born secretary. Nothing much, Mr. Poirot. There is just one letter that I thought might interest you. And what is that? He took an interest a step forward. It's from a man who wants you to investigate the disappearance of his wife's Pekingese dog. Poirot paused with his foot still in the air. He threw a glance of deep reproach at Miss Lemon. Poirot was shaken and embittered. Miss Lemon, the efficient Miss Lemon, had let him down. A Pekingese dog? And after the dream he had last night, he had been leaving Buckingham Palace after being personally thanked. It is the first short story which belongs to the labors of Hercule. I love the concept of 12 last cases that Hercule Poirot has to solve. I love how these labors of Hercule are introduced, how Poirot thinks about this idea to have 12 very special cases before he retires. Another short story which belongs to the labors of Hercule is The Capture of Cerberus. It is very exciting and it is very different from the other cozy stories in this collection. At the beginning, it is described that he's in the underground and he's not having a good time because it's too crowded. And then suddenly he sees Madame Rosakoff, whom he hadn't seen for 20 years, but he's always have a penchant for her. She owns a very special nightclub called Hell, where there is a really, really big dog called Cerberus. And he plays a very important part in the mystery. It's one of my favorite Poirot short stories. I'm very glad to have discovered the labors of Hercule. I would love to hear if you have read these stories and which is your favorite. Aggie Morton, Mystery Queen, The Body Under the Piano. It is inspired in Agatha Christie and her famous detective Hercule Poirot, having Agatha Christie as a young sleuth, Aggie, accompanied by Hercule Poirot. In this book, his name is Hector Poirot. I think that is such a great idea. I love how it starts. He was a boy, a foreign boy. He was, to be truthful, a bit peculiar, but I determined to be open-minded as potential friends did not often come my way. Except of the made-up sort. I had a whole schoolroom full of imagined girls, but they did not ever think of me. They have this immediate connection, and so it's the perfect friendship between Aggie and Hector. If you have read some books with Hercule Poirot, you can recognize his personality traits, his love for a mustache, and his need to be very orderly, to use his intelligence. Aggie learns from him, and it is really nice to see how Aggie gets more mature and more considerate towards her family and her neighbors, her friends. You get an idea how Aggie started to become a writer. She always carried her notebook with her. When she is trying to investigate, she always have to write her ideas. She comes to very good conclusions because she tries to think like Hector Poirot and be very logical. And then we have these Little Grey Cells, the quotable Poirot by HarperCollins Publishers. It has nice end papers. When I discovered this book, I was really happy because I've been thinking about doing the same, just to have a book about Poirot's quotes. There are so many quotes in the books that I read that I would like to write down and have such a book, such a quote book. And it has even an introduction by Agatha Christie. She had some problems with him, but I think she recognized that he was really special and very beloved by her readers. I love especially this quote because it talks about his relationship with Hastings. You must wear a tie pin, Hastings. At least let it be in the exact center of your tie. At present, it is at least a 16th of an inch too much to the right. The books where Hastings and Poirot interact, I think there is a friendship full of love and support and warmth. This novella, Hercule Poirot and the Greenshore Folly, surprised me. It was a cover by the cover, I think, is very different and stunning, and you can see Greenways, which was Agatha Christie's house. I love the description of the book. An urgent telephone call summons Poirot to Devonshire. The caller is the eccentric detective novelist Mrs. Ariadne Oliver, and the reason for her alarm seems based solely on woman's intuition. Is the fictional murder scenario she has been asked to devise a cover-up for something more sinister? And I have 3 beautiful books published by HarperCollins. Many people like these editions. I love the color schemes. My favorite is 450 from Paddington. A friend of Miss Marple saw a murder in a train, and she contacts Miss Marple so that she can help her. What I love about this book is how Miss Marple sends a very intelligent woman that is an acquaintance of her to investigate the case. I also have Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. Such beautiful editions. There are more in this series. What I love from these 3 mysteries is that they are very different from each other. So I definitely recommend the 3, and especially 450 from Paddington.